Welcome to the 5 on 5. I'm here with Senator Ron Wyden. Senator, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, a lot has happened over the past 2 weeks, so let's get right into it. As we record, it's been about 48 hours since President Trump has been impeached. How do you feel about the situation now?
What I believe is we're seeing a growing number of influential elected Republicans saying that they believe they've been betrayed. They saw Donald Trump, in effect, over a period of a number of weeks, in effect, looking to incite. He kept calling it wild, what amounted to violence. And I think they believe there ought to be accountability.
And moving on to the trial part of impeachment, will Senate hold the trial? And if so, when do you think that's going to happen?
Certainly, there's going to be discussion between the leadership in the Senate with respect to how to handle it. But I believe it's very important for the schedule to allow the economic program. I'm the new chairman of the Senate Finance Committee next week, the unemployment expansion, the $2,000 checks, the COVID help to go forward at the same time that the impeachment issue is addressed. And I'll just tell you, I went to school on a basketball scholarship, and I could dribble 2 basketballs. I mean, the fact is that there ought to be accountability.
And I know as we're looking at the impeachment, we're also looking at President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration. Will you be attending? And do you have any concerns about security?
I will be attending, and my sense is that there will be unprecedented efforts to ensure that it's peaceful. And that really speaks to a fundamental judgment I have about public service. Violence is always unacceptable. That's true in Washington, D.C. That's true in Portland. That's true anywhere in Oregon. It's something that applies to everyone, no matter what your political views are, no matter where you reside on the political spectrum. Violence is just unacceptable, period, full stop.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll have more with Senator Wyden when we come back. All right, welcome back. We're here with Senior U.S. Senator Ron Wyden. Now, Senator, today you requested that the IRS investigate if tax-exempt organizations were involved with the recent Capitol insurrection. What prompted this request?
I'm very troubled about the prospect that these tax-exempt organizations were actually inciting violence. And you look at some of their comments, what they've said online, they are tax-exempt organizations. And so I've asked the IRS to look at what they actually did. They're, for the most part, called dark money organizations, which means that their contributors aren't made available to the public. So this is really serious business. And if tax-exempt organizations actually incited the violence, committed the violence that took place Wednesday last in the Capitol, then the IRS should look at revoking the exemption.
Yeah, so when these organizations, if they were to be discovered in connection with it, what were some of the actions that you would like to see taken against that?
If, in fact, they were inciting violence or they were committing violence, then the IRS should use all its enforcement authority, including revoking the tax exemption.
And now pivoting a little bit to COVID-19, in a recent town hall, you addressed the announcement that there's no federal vaccine reserve, which impacts vaccination plans here in Oregon. What's vaccine rollout look like from here, especially with the new administration on the horizon?
First, we ought to reflect on the last 24 hours, because I don't know what is worse, the lies or the incompetence. I mean, certainly we were led to believe that there were vaccines available, particularly in the stockpile, and that those would be made available in Oregon for seniors and teachers. Now, Southern Oregon has a very large senior citizens population. So that announcement was met with a lot of support and a lot of hope. Now we've just learned that there really aren't the reserves. I'm the ranking Democrat on the Finance Committee now, soon to be the chairman, and we're going to get to the bottom of this. The government policies, particularly Medicare and Medicaid, have got to be examined, and we're going to make sure that Oregon, and we see this in the Biden program, the program that's been announced, finally gets on track.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, Senator, for taking the time to talk with us. It's been a busy 2021 so far, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down.
Great. Thank you.
We'll be right back.